Hello, level 2 algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here, and you're not seeing me in class, but you will see me later today. I'm coming in about lunchtime, so there is help after school tonight, okay? Hey, by the way, great job last time we had a sub. Thank you so much for your good behavior second and third period. I really appreciate it. So let's make sure we do a great job again today. The sub knows that if anybody misbehaves, they're to leave your name and the specific behavior, and I'll have to consequence you. But you guys did such a great job last time, I don't think that's going to be an issue. All right, so before we get started with today's lesson, I want to remind you that the slope equation to calculate slope from 2 points is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Now, I don't know if you see this yet, but to me, this equation here looks very similar to this equation. If I was asked to solve this red equation for y, what would I do? Do me a favor, pause the video for a second and talk to a person next to you about what action you think you should take to get y alone. Okay, if you're still listening, I can only assume you've talked for a minute amongst yourselves. I hope you said that the y is attached to 2 by division, so of course we're going to multiply by 2, right? Or we have to do it to both sides. And that would cause these 2's to cancel, and then we would get what? 2x, and that would equal y. And now y is alone, right? Okay. We're going to do something similar with this equation here. And we're going to keep in mind that it's the same equation. It's the same equation. I'm just going to move this out of my way a little bit, just because I don't want it to get into where I'm writing. So what do we have? 2x equals y. Okay. So on this problem, we're going to try to get the numerator alone. We're going to try to eliminate the denominator. Well, the denominator is not x squared. The denominator is not x squared, or x sub 2. It's not x sub 1. We can't multiply by one of those. We have to multiply by the exact denominator, x sub 2 minus x sub 1. Okay? But if we do that one side, we have to do it to the other, just like we did in the red problem. Okay, and then these will cancel out, and I'm going to flip the whole equation. Well, I'll write it down first, and then I'll flip the whole equation. Here I'm going to use the commutative property. I'm going to put m first. Okay. Right, just like that. And now I'm going to flip it. I'm just going to write my y's on the one side. Like so. And then I'm going to rewrite it just one more time. Don't worry, you won't be rewriting it all these times. I'm just trying to show you where something's coming from. I'm going to drop the 2's off, and I'm just going to go y minus y sub 1 and m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Okay, and well, what's the difference? Well, the y sub 2 was the second y coordinate. Y sub 1 is the first y coordinate. This y here is the dependent variable, right? It's not a specific coordinate. It's going to change, okay? This x right here used to be the second x coordinate. Now it's just the independent variable. Of course, m is still the slope. What you've just discovered, or what we've just come up with, is something called point slope form. Yeah, hold on, let me get my shade up here so we don't have to see everything at once. Point slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity of x minus x sub 1. Now what that means is, it's called point slope form because we know a point. What point do we know? X sub 1, y sub 1. Hey, what do you notice about the x sub 1 and the y sub 1 over here in the point in the ordered pair compared to here? Go ahead and pause the video again. Talk to your neighbor. Okay, you should be watching again. I'm assuming that you came up with, hey, the sign's changed. Yeah, because we're subtracting the x sub 1. So that means x sub 1 is actually a positive, right? Right? Remember? Okay. And the same with the y sub 1. Now, what's m? Well, you know m. M is slope, right? And so we don't need the y-intercept to graph. we could use any point and the slope, and that would allow us to get the graph as well. So let's try that. Let's see how this works here. We'll do some together, and then you can do some on your own. Okay. So I'm going to do A for you. And the first thing I'm going to do is identify the point. Well, my point is going to be 3, because I had to change the sign, right? And the y coordinate is going to be 5, because I had to change the sign. My slope is going to be 2, or 2 over 1. So here's how this works. I graph the point 3, 5, 3, 5 right there. And then I rise and run from there. Rise 2, run 1. Rise 2, run 1. Okay, if I want to go down 2 and back 1, I can do that. And when I do that, I get a nice line. Just like that. Okay, and let me stick an arrowhead on there so nobody worries about it. Okay, so that's pretty simple. I want you to try B on your own. The president will pause the video, identify the point, identify the slope, graph it on some graph paper. When you're ready, go ahead and unpause the video and see my solution. All right, here comes my solution. So first I'm going to have the point 4, 2. 4, 2. So let me see here. 4, 2 is right there. And then the slope is 1/2. So I'm going to rise 1, run 2. Rise 1, run 2. If I could go down 1 and back 2, that would work as well. And there we go, I have my slope. Pretty easy, huh? So now you know two forms. You know slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, and you're being introduced to point-slope form. Now, I'm going to show you why point-slope form is so valuable in a minute. All right, I've got one more here for you to try. Again, pause the video, try it on your own. Uh-oh, wake up, computer. There we go. And where's my mouse? There it is. All right, so go ahead and pause the video. Try this one on your own. Here comes my solution. First, I need my point, which is going to occur at -7, +2. The signs change. My slope is going to be -3/4. Okay, so -7, +2 is there. And then I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, 3, 4. If I want to go down 1, 2, 3, right 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. If I go up 1, 2, 3, I can go left 1, 2, 3, and I'll have to kind of guesstimate because I ran out of room. But even with my guesstimate, look, it still looks like it's on that line. Okay, and so then my line can do this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, looks like I missed it. I better fix that, missing my points. All of a sudden my airliner's going crazy on me. All right, let's see here. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, very good. All right, now, remember the other day, we were given an equation like, say, oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of another class. Okay, if we're given a point like 3, 6, and we're given a slope of, say, 2/3, and they want you to write the equation in slope-intercept form. Well, now that you know point-slope form, you can have an easier time at it. For example, you take y minus y sub 1, and that'll equal m times quantity of x minus x sub 1, right? And we know that this is x1 and y1, right? Okay, so I'm going to fill this in, y minus 6. That will equal 2/3 times the quantity of x minus 3. Now, I'm not in slope-intercept form because y is not alone. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distribute. I'm going to distribute the 2/3 to the x and to the -3. So this will leave me with y minus 6 equal to 2/3 x minus 2. Then if I add 6 to both sides, y is going to equal 2/3 x plus 4. And look at that, I'm in slope-intercept form. Now, if I were to graph this equation here, I would get the same line as if I graphed this equation here. They're the same equation, they just look different. Now, the second one, the slope-intercept form, I'll have the point 0,4 plotted, and I'll rise 2 and run 3 from there. On this one, I'll plot the point 3,6, and then I'll rise 2 and run 3 from there. But you'll find that you'll hit the y-intercept. Here, watch, I'll show you. Okay, so let me get some graph paper out here. Okay, let's get some graph paper. Dan, are you sleeping? Wake up, Dan. Okay, so let's see here. Let me see. Our point was 3,6, I believe, right? 3,6. Let me just double check that, because if I've got that wrong. Yep, 3,6 was my point. So 3,6 would be right there. And I believe my slope is 2/3. So rise 2, run 1, 2, 3. And rise 2, run 1, 2, 3. Now watch what happens when I draw this line. Okay. Look at that. What's my y-intercept? Well, my y-intercept is sitting right here, right? And isn't that the point 0,4? And the slope-intercept form of our equation was y equals 2/3 x plus 4. So you see they are the same equation. This might be a much easier way to do the problem that I showed you in class the other day. I was holding off for point slope form to do it. All right, that's it. You may get started on your homework, and next week we'll be doing midterm review all week. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Have a good night, everybody.